As you know, we have a massive flotilla right now going over to Iran. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal. I think they'd be foolish if they didn't. We took out their nuclear power last time, and we'll have to see if we take out more this time.
Do you think a deal with Iran, with this current regime, would ever really stick?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know one thing. They want to make a deal. They wouldn't talk to anybody else, but they're talking to me. But, you know, it's a good question. A lot of people say no. And I would say that I'd rather make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. No nuclear weapons, no missiles, no this, no that, all the different things that you want. But some people worry that they've been very dishonest with us over the years, right? Very dishonest. Obama and Biden, what they did in terms of creating a monster with Iran was terrible. That Iran nuclear deal was one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen.
The warning signs are flashing, and they are getting louder. Iran says it is ready to talk, but it is also preparing for war. In a rare and revealing moment, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi made the country's position unmistakably clear. Diplomacy will continue, but without trust and under the shadow of military force. Speaking during a meeting with senior army commanders, Araghchi said Iran would pursue talks with the United States with eyes open, shaped by past experience, without trusting the other side, and with full confidence in Iran's armed forces. That single statement says everything about how close the region may be to the edge. Because when diplomacy proceeds without trust and military readiness becomes the backup plan, even small miscalculations can spiral into something far larger. The meeting itself was symbolic and strategic. Iran's foreign minister hosting top army commanders at the foreign ministry just days after talks with the United States in Oman sends a deliberate message. Iran's diplomatic track and military posture are now openly intertwined. This is not diplomacy backed quietly by deterrence. This is diplomacy conducted under warning sirens. And the warnings did not stop there. Major General Amir Hatami, Commander-in-Chief of Iran's army, issued one of the strongest public threats heard in months. If Iran's adversaries miscalculate, he said, they will face a response they have neither seen nor experienced until today. That is not the language of restraint. That is the language of a country preparing its population and its forces for the possibility of conflict. At the same time, Iranian officials are signaling growing frustration with Washington's negotiating posture. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Ismail Baghai, said the United States must decide if it is capable of negotiating independently or whether it remains under what Tehran describes as Israeli influence. Our negotiating party is the United States, Baghai said. It is up to the U.S. to decide if it can act independently of pressures that are to the detriment of the region. This framing matters. From Tehran's perspective, diplomacy is no longer just about nuclear terms or sanctions relief. It is about who truly controls decision-making in Washington and whether talks are genuine or merely buying time. Baghai also confirmed that Iran was willing to remain at the negotiating table for consecutive days, emphasizing that recent talks were designed to test the seriousness of the American side. But as Iran speaks of diplomacy, events elsewhere are raising the stakes dramatically. According to the Associated Press, the possibility of further military action against Iran is expected to be discussed when U.S. President Donald Trump meets Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Washington. That meeting alone changes the equation. Netanyahu is expected to press Trump to expand the scope of the ongoing high-stakes nuclear talks, potentially pushing beyond diplomacy and into coercive or military options. From Iran's point of view, this is the nightmare scenario. a United States negotiating with one hand while quietly sharpening the other. From Tehran's viewpoint, the signals are deeply troubling. Diplomatic engagement in Oman on one track and strategic coordination between Washington and Tel Aviv on another. This is how wars begin, not with declarations, but with parallel paths that eventually collide. Iran's leadership appears keenly aware of this danger. By convening top military commanders alongside diplomatic officials, Tehran is preparing for what it sees as a high-risk phase, one where talks could fail suddenly, or worse, be overtaken by military action. And this is where things could go wrong, very wrong. If Iran believes talks are being used as cover for planning an attack, it may feel compelled to act preemptively or escalate its military readiness in ways that alarm its adversaries. If the United States or Israel interprets Iran's military signaling as preparation for aggression, they may respond with force to avoid being caught off guard. In such an environment, restraint becomes fragile. A single airstrike, a single misread intelligence report, a single retaliatory move intended as limited. History shows how quickly these moments spiral. Iran's commanders are clearly trying to project deterrence, to signal that any strike will be met with an overwhelming response. But deterrence only works when all sides believe the other is rational, restrained, and transparent. Right now, trust is absent. Iran openly admits it. And without trust, even diplomacy becomes dangerous. Every negotiation session risks becoming a countdown. Every delay becomes suspicious. Every statement is parsed for hidden meaning. The Trump-Netanyahu meeting adds another layer of volatility. Netanyahu has long advocated a hard-line approach towards Iran, including the use of military force to prevent what Israel sees as an existential threat. If Trump appears receptive to expanding military options, even rhetorically, Iran's leadership may conclude that diplomacy has reached its limits. That could push Tehran towards faster military preparations, increased regional posturing, or asymmetric responses through allied forces across the Middle East. And once those pieces are in motion, stopping them becomes exponentially harder. This is the danger zone, the space where diplomacy and warfare overlap. Iran says it will talk, but it will not trust, and it will rely on its armed forces. The United States says it wants negotiations, but its closest regional ally is pressing for tougher measures. One wrong signal, one misinterpreted move, one leader deciding that striking first is safer than waiting. That is how crises turn into conflicts. Right now, the Middle East is holding its breath, because when diplomacy is backed by armies, and armies are preparing for what comes next, peace becomes not the default outcome, but the fragile exception. And the margin for error has never been thinner.